high-level people smuggler identified in a BBC investigation has been arrested in Iraqi Kurdistan. A network run by Cardo Jaff, who operates under the alias Cardo Rania, is believed to have transported thousands of illegal migrants in small boats across the English Channel into the UK in recent years.
The son of Mango founder Ishak Andik has been arrested in connection with his father's death. Jonathan Andik, 45, was detained by Catalan police on Tuesday as part of a renewed investigation into the death of the fashion tycoon, which was initially treated as an accident but was later reopened.
Fear has gripped Ebola-hit areas in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo as the suspected number of deaths continues to rise, as officials say they are struggling to catch up to an outbreak that may have previously been spreading undetected. Ebola has tortured us, says a taxi rider in his late 20s in the gold mining town of Rwampara.
United States President Donald Trump has endorsed Texas State Attorney General Ken Paxton in the Republican runoff to represent the state of Texas in the U.S. Senate in advance of next week's Republican primary. Donald Trump said that Paxton has been extremely loyal to me and our amazing MAGA movement, while also saying that his opponent incumbent, John Cornyn, was not supportive of him when times were tough.
A body set up by United States President Donald Trump to oversee the administration and reconstruction of the Gaza Strip has said that it is short of the funds needed to move forward with those efforts. Trump's so-called Board of Peace has warned of a significant gap between the funds disbursed and the $17 BN pledged to the organisation, according to media reports on Tuesday. Tehran, Iran, when Mohammed, a 29-year-old resident of Western Tehran, renewed his tenancy contract earlier this week. The price increase did not come as a surprise. His landlord had raised the rent for the 20-year-old apartment to 230 million rials, 130, up from 130 million rials, 73. Karachi. An individual involved in a fatal hit-and-run incident on a major Karachi thoroughfare remains on the run days after his vehicle hit another, killing one person and injuring two teenagers. On Thursday, a video of the incident went viral on social media. It showed a speeding double-cabin vehicle ploughing into a small car on Karachi's Abdul Sattar Eddy Avenue in the Defence Housing Authority, DHA, area. The double-cabin vehicle hit the other car with such force that it spun around multiple times before coming to a stop on the side of the busy road. The speeding vehicle did not stop, and the individual fled the scene.
Nigeria's military on Tuesday said that joint airstrikes with the United States had killed 175 Islamic State fighters in the country's northeast, including the militant group's global second-in-command. The remote region has been gripped by an extremist insurgency since 2009, first by Boko Haram, then its offshoot and rival, the Islamic State West Africa province, ISWAP.
After saying he had received an ICC arrest warrant for war crimes, Israel's far-right finance minister Bezalel Smotrich announced plans to forcibly displace Palestinians from a village in the occupied West Bank. Smotrich has called the ICC move a declaration of war.
The United States has imposed sanctions on 4 activists for their involvement in the aid flotillas trying to break Israel's siege on Gaza, alleging without evidence that organisers of the aid vessels are trying to reach the Palestinian territory in support of Hamas. The sanctions on Tuesday come as the Israeli military continues to intercept the latest fleet of Gaza-bound ships.
Somaliland will relocate its embassy to Jerusalem as Israel will establish its representation in Hargeisa soon. According to Mohammed Hagi, the ambassador of Somalia's breakaway region to Israel, the development, which comes months after Israel officially recognised the independence of Somaliland, reflects growing friendship, mutual respect and strategic cooperation between our two peoples, Hagi said in a statement on X on Tuesday.
Google is isn't finished infusing AI into your inbox. On Tuesday, the tech giant announced an expansion of its AI inbox functionality for Gmail, which is adding conversational AI features. That means you can ask Gmail about things in your inbox instead of typing in search terms. The company says the Gemini AI-powered feature called Gmail Live will help you quickly find information buried in your inbox.
The era of the 10 blue links is officially over. Google unveiled on Tuesday an AI-powered overhaul of search centered around a reimagined intelligent search box. What the company describes as the biggest change to this entry point to the web since the search box debuted more than 25 years ago.
At the 2026 Google I/O keynote, the tech giant revealed new agentic capabilities in search, where users can create, customize, and manage multiple AI agents to stay updated on topics of interest. The announcement is part of Google's larger push toward agentic AI systems that can take initiative and assist with ongoing tasks instead of only answering one question at a time. Unlike traditional search tools that respond only when prompted, Google's information agents are designed to operate continuously in the background, 24/7, helping users stay informed about their interests without needing to repeatedly search for the same information every day. Google launched on Tuesday Gemini 3.5 Flash, a new AI model that the company says is its strongest yet for coding and autonomous AI agents. The model, which was introduced at the company's annual I/O developer conference, can independently execute coding pipelines, manage research projects, and, in internal tests, build an operating system entirely from scratch. The release signals Google's shift from pitching AI as a conversational tool to AI as an agentic tool. It's not just answering questions, but planning, building, and iterating on real work with minimal human input.
We've all pulled up Street View on Google Maps to show a friend what our childhood home looked like, or dropped that little person icon onto the streets of Paris to see if we booked a hotel in a cool neighborhood. Imagine being able to do that, but in a more immersive, interactive way that allows you to really simulate the street and its environs, and even do things like adjust the weather or see what it would look like in a day after tomorrow scenario. That's one of the goals of Google's latest integration. Starting today, Google DeepMind is connecting Street View to Project Genie, the company's general-purpose world model that can generate diverse, interactive environments. The new feature launched during the Google I/O Developer Conference. Islamabad. The Privatization Commission on Tuesday invited expressions of interest, EOIs, from local and international investors for the much-delayed sale of 3 of the country's most viable electricity distribution companies, DISCOs. The deadline for submitting EOIs for the partial or full sale of the DISCOs falls in the first quarter of the next fiscal year. The 3 companies are Faisalabad Electric Supply Company, FESCO, Gujranwala Electric Power Company, GEPCO, and Islamabad Electric Supply Company, IESCO.
2 women have alleged they were raped during the filming of Married at First Sight UK, according to a BBC investigation that prompted Channel 4, a British broadcaster, to remove all previous seasons of the reality TV show while it reviews the allegations. The show, known as MAFS, bills itself as a bold social experiment in which single people marry strangers who meet for the first time on their wedding day, although the marriage is not legally binding. The couples, while being filmed almost daily, then go on honeymoon, move in together and navigate their relationship.
Carlos Alcaraz says he will skip Wimbledon as he recovers from the right wrist injury that also forced the Spaniard out of the French Open, the world number 2 men's tennis player said on Tuesday. The 23-year-old 7-time Grand Slam champion has not played since withdrawing from the Barcelona Open last month.
At least 22 people have been killed in Israeli attacks on Lebanon in the past 24 hours, according to the country's health ministry, despite a 45-day ceasefire extension. The total death toll since March 2, when the fighting resumed between Israel and Hezbollah, has reached 3,042. The ministry said in a statement published on Tuesday, 24 hours after reporting 3,020 deaths. The United States is heading into one of its most consequential midterm elections in decades. On November 3, every seat in the House of Representatives and a third of the Senate will be up for grabs in what amounts to the country's first major verdict on Donald Trump's second term as president. United States President Donald Trump says Chinese leader Xi Jinping has assured him that Beijing would not send weapons to Iran during the ongoing war. The statement on Tuesday came after Trump returned from his three-day visit to China last week, after which the US president hailed several trade agreements but made no major breakthrough on the US-Israel war on Iran.
Pakistan Airport Authority, PAA, on Tuesday extended restrictions on Indian aircraft using Pakistani airspace until June 24. According to a fresh notice to airmen, NOTAM, issued by the PAA, Pakistani airspace will remain closed to all aircraft registered in India.
The Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank has approved a $320.16 million loan for the reconstruction of key sections of the N5 highway under Pakistan's Resilient Recovery and Infrastructure Rehabilitation Framework. The loan agreement was signed by Economic Affairs Secretary Mohammad Humair Karim Kidwai and AIIB Chief Investment Officer Konstantin Limitovsky. When coach Carlo Ancelotti read aloud the list of players who made the cut to Brazil's World Cup squad, one name earned the loudest cheers. Neymar Jr. After months of sweating over his fitness, the 34-year-old forward breathed a sigh of relief as he earned a place in Brazil's 26-man squad for the tournament in North America, which begins on June 11.
A car bomb explosion near a Syrian Defense Ministry building in Damascus has killed at least more than 20 people, authorities say. In a statement carried by state media on Tuesday, the ministry said members of an army unit had discovered an improvised explosive device planted near the site in the Bab Sharki district of the capital. As they moved to defuse it, a car bomb exploded in the same area, it added, without offering more details.
Philippine authorities are investigating Senate security officers who discharged their weapons without provocation, while a senator facing an international criminal court, ICC arrest warrant, took shelter inside the legislative building and later escaped. Juanito Victor Remulla, Secretary of the Interior and Local Government, on Tuesday said the May 13 shooting was not an attack on the Senate, adding that there was no one in the area when the gun was fired.
A court in Pakistan has sentenced Umar Hayat, 23, to death for murdering a 17-year-old TikTok and Instagram influencer whose killing last year had reignited a debate about women's safety. Tuesday's verdict is a lesson for all such criminals in society, said Hassan Yousaf, the father of Sana Yousaf, who was shot dead at her home on June 2nd last year.
Hackers have compromised several popular open source projects relied on by software developers all over the world in an ongoing cyber attack. On Tuesday, cybersecurity firms Step Security and SafeDep warned of the latest wave of so-called supply chain attacks, which aim to compromise developers of popular open source projects and use that access to plant malicious updates that are pushed to users downstream. If you were looking for a sign to try out a dumb phone, here it is. The trendy minimalist light phone is joining forces with Noble Mobile, a phone network founded by entrepreneur and politician Andrew Yang that gives you money back if you use less data. On Tuesday, 500 Light Phone 3 models will be in stock and ready to ship through Noble Mobile. The catch is that you have to sign up for a 2-year Noble Mobile phone plan at $50 per month, which comes out to $1,200 for the contract.